Well, good morning and welcome to Morning News on Newday. I am Anthony Jackson. Let's look at the headlines for this morning. The Criminal Investigations Department CID of the Ghana Police Service says Nam1 is still facing prosecution in the United Arab Emirates. Commercial operators of motorbikes, popularly referred to as Okada, have blamed the police for their recklessness. In the banking sector, the Bank of Ghana has set aside 700 million cedis to clean up the savings and loan sector. And on the international front, said it would offer free royalty access to its hybrid vehicle technology patents through 2030. My name is Anthony Jackson. Don't forget, Newday is live on News on TV3 on Facebook. Now, the Criminal Investigations Department, CID of the Ghana Police Service, says the embattled boss of the gold dealership firm Men's Gold Ghana is still facing prosecution in the United Arab Emirates. According to the Director General of Police, DCOP Mameya Tiwa Adodankwa Nana Apia Mensah, alias Nam1, cannot be charged and prosecuted in Ghana until his case in Dubai has been disposed of.
The Director General of the Police CID, DCOP Mameya Tiwa Adodankwa, said although Nam1 was granted bail on March 25, he was rearrested in Dubai on the instructions of Interpol.
On the 4th of March, Nam1 was granted bail, and there was some conditions for his bail. On 25th of March, he was able to execute the bail, and 25th, the lawyers actually obtained the letter for his release. Due to the red alert notice on him, he was re-arrested on the instructions of Interpol. The Dubai police has gone ahead to obtain a local warrant of arrest based on the Interpol red notice.
The CID boss indicated that the Ghana police is in touch with their Dubai counterpart, who will hand him over when the case in Dubai is completed.
He is currently in custody at the Dubai police station, and that case, even though he's on bail, hasn't ended. They will continue to produce him before the court until that case is over, before he's handed over to Ghana.
The Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO, in January secured a court order to freeze all landed properties and vehicles belonging to Nam1, including Men's Gold Ghana Limited, Men's Gold Office Complex, Xylophone Act Complex, Xylophone Music and Media Company Limited, Brew Energy Company Limited, and G-Tech Automobile Service.
Well, now the coalition of aggrieved customers of Men's Gold have petitioned the Economic and Organized Crime Office to make public frozen assets of embattled CEO Nana Apia Mensah. They want an extension of the seizure on other managers of the gold dealership company to offset all their locked up investment.
Last year, the coalition hinted of series of protests to press home their demands of retrieving their locked up investments. Members marched up in front of the Economic and Organized Crime Office and petitioned YOCO to declare frozen assets of embattled CEO Nana Apia Mensah. The coalition claimed that 15 of its members have died from shock and heart failure owing to this situation.
Well, we just want to send a signal to YOCO. We know asset of Nam1 is being confiscated, but we have information, concrete one. Our monies never ended with only Nam1. Men's Gold management members looted our funds, and we have evidence to that effect. So the seizure of assets should move beyond only Nam1.
Since we are here, we are going to sleep here. If it's 1 week, 1 week. If it's 2 weeks, 2 weeks, until we hear something better from them, from YOCO.
They intend to picket at the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Attorney General's Department to register their protest. Deputy Director of Operations at YOCO cautioned them against unlawful acts.
And the arrangement is based on an understanding that YOCO has reached with the leadership of this group. if the discussion goes well and they think that we should tell their followers something from the angle of Yoko, only Yoko, we will do that. So that is the arrangement.
According to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, it has finished with its investigations and forwarded its findings to the Attorney General. More than 200 million cedis of the Posters funds are locked up with a gold dealership firm.
Now, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Service has revealed it knows the whereabouts of the 3 girls who were kidnapped last year from Takoradi in the Western region. At a news conference in Accra, Director General of the Police CID DCOP Mameya Tiwa Adodankwa said the girls are safe and will be reunited with their parents soon.
The news conference was to address the status of investigations on some high-profile crimes. On the 3 kidnapped girls from Takoradi, the Director General of Police CID, DCOP Mami Tiwa Adodankwa, said in partnership with the Bureau of National Investigations, the location of the 3 girls has been identified.
We've worked very well, and currently we know where the girls are. We are working hard together with other stakeholders so that these girls are brought back home safely. The assurance to the family is that they should keep on keeping on. The ladies, we know where they are and they are safe. So very soon they will be brought back home and they will go back to their family.
She, however, declined to give details, insisting it will jeopardize the safety of the girls.
If you really know how kidnapping works, there's something that you don't have to do to compromise the safety of the girls in hostage. Like I said, it's taking us over 3 months to even identify where the ladies are. And what we don't want to do is to do anything that will jeopardize the safety of that.
On the murder of Tiger IPI investigative journalist Ahmed Hussein Swale, the CID boss disclosed that the police have interrogated 13 suspects. 1 key suspect, however, is in police custody.
In the course of these investigations, 13 suspects have been questioned. 1 is currently on remand, assisting us in our investigation. And these 13 people that we have questioned include Anas and Honorable Kennedy Ejapon. Other lists are being followed.
The Bronahafo Regional Vice Chairman of the NPP, Kwame Bafo, alias Abronye DC, recently alleged that a suspect in the Ahmed Swale murder, who was arrested by the police and sent to the Kotobabi police station, was released after allegedly bribing the police. But the CID boss refuted the claim.
They actually arrested this person and he started struggling with the policeman. Instead of the public, those who were at the pub coming to the aid of the policeman, they rather went to the aid of the person. This policeman, sensing that his life was in danger, allowed the person to go. It is not accurate that the person was arrested, sent to Kotobabi police station, and because he had links with somebody else, the person was granted bail.
A co-chair of the Abosokai Spare Part Dealers Association, Clement Boateng, wants President Akufo-Addo to follow through with his promise of reviewing downwards the import duty regime. He says until the reduction, prices of spare parts will continue to go up.
President Akufo-Addo, addressing the Ghanaian community in Massachusetts in the United States, noted reforms and the offering to bring down the high duties prevailing at the country's ports. Some trader unions, including the Abosokai Spare Parts Dealers Association, had petitioned government to intervene and review the high taxes and duties on imported items. According to the co-chair of the association, until the promise by the president is realized, they will remain resolute in their demand.
A weekly constant review of the exchange rate at the port is not helping us. So if they can review it quarterly, so that maybe the first quarter we will know that the cedi has been pegged at maybe 5 cedis, 5 pesos, or 5 cedis, 10 pesos. Then we can work with it so that the second quarter, if there's a need to review it, either to go down or to go up a little bit. They can do it. You see, when it happens like that, it will at least enable prices to be a little bit, stable.
Already, the introduction of paperless port system, according to the Minister for Finance, Ken Oforiatta, reduced the cost of doing business at the ports.
Now, commercial operators of motorbikes, popularly referred to as Okada, have blamed the police for their recklessness and non-adherence to road safety regulations. They told our reporter Evelyn Tingma they would offer better services should the ban be lifted.
The Okada business has become a common practice spreading across major cities and towns countrywide. Concerns over the years have been the recklessness of riders and crime-related issues over its use. Its impact on road transport has prompted the sector ministry to commence a nationwide consultation on whether to lift the ban or not. The Ghana Medical Association has waded into the debate over road safety issues, citing its high accident and fatality rate. But the operators have a different view.
Plane has been crashing, they die. Buses have been crashing, they die. So we riders, we shouldn't get accident. 1, 2 motor riders crash. How many? Perhaps 4. But the buses, how many? So many. So he's not telling the drivers to take their time. And besides, some of the passengers today will tell them, I'm in a hurry. Tell them you are not speeding. Why? Before someone even take Okada, the person is already late to wherever he or she is going. And then put pressure on the rider.
The operators said aside majority of their members having insurance and licenses, it has also created jobs for them.
The motors are helping us to feed our family back at north, back at our places. So if they legalize it, it will help the youth.
I'm a university graduate. That is what I used to survive. And you are telling me that I shouldn't use it? How do I survive?
They, however, admitted not adhering to some traffic regulations, blaming it on the police.
When the traffic show red for us to stop, you stop, the police people come and come out your key for obeying the traffic. Then what if I don't obey the traffic? So the police themselves are making us not to obey the traffic.
If the police were to allow us to be doing our job freely, without any problem, I don't think an Okada rider will use the motor and go and hit him. Because if I'm riding and decide to, what tells me that if I knock the failure, I'll survive?
To them, their operations are legal.
Some of the MPs and the ministers, the police, the district judges, give us motorbikes to be operating. If you press me hard, I'll mention their names. A court judge, he was on traffic, he has to get them and pick Okada. And you're talking of illegal. When a judge himself.
They disagreed with the Deputy Transport Minister's proposal to ban riding after 9 p.m.
Somewhere last year, government sent delegation to Kenya. Kenya learned they are operating the Okada, the use of Okada is also there. So they learn how the Okada people are operating, so that they will bring that policy to implement it in Ghana. The motor registration is attached to your particulars. So immediately they pick the registration number, they can trace you to wherever you are. As I talk to you, the report is there. They don't do anything.
Some patrons insisted their operation was crucial and asked that the laws be enforced if legalized.
Ebwa, say Ghana communities, new site, adoso. Nya babia na ka etimiko. Mekura say sebekwa. Semanya Okada no.
It helps. We have several new communities that vehicles cannot go there, but motorbikes.
So the Okada riders here are disputing the fact that they do not use helmets for themselves and for their passengers. Well, they are also saying that they sometimes do not obey traffic rules because of the police on the roads. To legalize or not to legalize, the debate will surely continue. Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News, Adenta, Accra.
Now, some energy experts say the current power outages is an indication that government was not prepared to deal with any eventualities. Government has announced it will need 10 to 12 days to fix the erratic power supply. On 3FM's morning show, the executive director of the Institute for Energy Security, Kwesi Enuama Sechi, says government must look at the mountain debt.
Government is under pressure to publish a load shedding timetable for the intermittent power supply, but the Energy Ministry has downplayed this cause. It will take 10 to 12 days to fix the case of intermittent supply of electricity. Energy expert Pakwesi Anamwasechi says there is an indication the government did not prepare for any eventuality.
If we have foresight in our thinking, if we do our risk analysis well, this is the work I'm going to do. What could be the repercussion? What could be the negative impact? And how do I cushion it? This is what we need to do. And the engineers and technocrats will tell you that they planned. We spoke to many of them. But to say that, oh, you say that we should reduce the power we're producing and do load shedding. No, we can accommodate.
Meanwhile, the ranking member of the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, Adams Mutawakilu, says using 12 days to fix the problem is too long.
The Western plants, they are dual fuel. Most of them are dual fuel. So you should be able to switch. Now, giving us 12 days, that is too long.
Why is it too long?
That tells you the liquidity problem. Because within 2-3 days, you should have been able to switch to the light crude oil that this plant needed to be able to generate electricity.
5 billion plus debt we inherited.
Now, the Bank of Ghana has set aside 700 million cedis to clean up the savings and loans sector. The Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison, made this known at a news conference here in Accra.
With the dust now settled on the cleanup of the universal banking sector, the Bank of Ghana has given the strongest indication that it is now set to fully turn its attention on the savings and loans companies. According to the central bank, it is ready to finalize the stock-taking exercise within the sector in its quest to ensure that those in operation meet all the requirements necessary per the demands of the law to be in business.
In the financial sector, you also have this segment of SDIs, where there are ongoing difficulties with getting access to deposits. And we have already announced that that would be the next phase that we would be focusing on to look at ways in which the depositors there in that segment of the market could be taken care of. And we were working with the Ministry of Finance to raise the necessary resources to do that. I can assure you that we are in the second quarter. Hopefully, during this quarter, we would be able to bring that issue to fruition, because we are close to obtaining the resources that we need to deal with the microfinance institutions. And the number and the estimate, the preliminary estimates that we have for microfinance institutions is just under 700 million.
Meanwhile, there are concerns about how the Ghana Amalgamated Trust is going to recapitalize all 5 local banks after failing to raise 2 billion cedis from investors for its 5-year corporate bond. But Governor says there's no cause to worry.
The government guaranteed the GATT arrangement, and for us that was sufficient to recognize those banks as meeting the minimum capital requirement. The last question I heard about GATT has to do with the mechanics of the guarantee. So the normal place to go is to go to the GATT people and ask them about the mechanics of the government guarantee. But we, as the central bank, are happy with the overall overall guarantee that the government has given to the scheme as good enough for us to recognize that they are meeting capital requirements.
The day appointed for the vice president to break his silence, long silence. Welcome Ghana to the
Maybe he's been talking all this while, except that we've not been listening to him or we're not hearing what he's saying.
But if you are saying what we are not requesting for, because if the CD is falling, everybody's complaining about the economy, and you are talking about other things.
I mean, it's not really. I mean, every time he comes to talk, people listen. I do agree that people listen because you hear feedback after he's spoken. But I think what we have a problem with is the fact that what he talks about is theory, but it doesn't translate to the practicality of what we feel in our pockets, what the economy seems to be like. And I think that's where people have an issue, because it's as if you know the knowledge, you are the repository of economic knowledge, and you come and pour it down or churn it out to us. This is something that if we wanted to know, we'll probably have studied economics as well. But that's not what we want to know. We want to know the knowledge you have. How has that been able to translate into something meaningful to us as citizens? And I think that's where we have a problem. Because, Bryce, if I talk highfalutin science and you don't understand it, but you are asking me things medical related to probably a condition you have, then at the end of the day, what am I doing for you?
Waiting you gain.
Exactly.
Look,
so I think he needs to just come down to our level and put the two together.
The generator sounds are bad.
Oh yes.
It was all over around.
Now we know the rich men and the poor men.
You know, during the night, the light went off like 4 times at certain places. You know, and we thought that, well, because this Dumso is not made in Ghana.
No, it's imported.
It doesn't look. It looks PDS.
Honestly, all this while I thought it was some kind of dream, and then this morning I got up and the sounds were there. You know,
but it's only for 12 days, so relax.
Are we doing the countdown?
I'm not so much
to put the timelines
keen
there
about the number of days, but
why are you not keen?
You should be, because that's someone's bargaining chip.
I have doubt as to whether
it will happen.
This will stop. Okay, I mean, like our vice president has been talking about, the fundamentals are not too good. The energy sector has a problem. It is not the tie-in. As for what the ministry is saying, well, they can say it, but it is not the tie-in. There's a fundamental problem in which we need to deal with. If we don't deal with that, we're likely to see more of this. Look, just this morning, if you heard Gridco talking about it, they said it's not only staff that are not being paid. The problem is that they can't even do maintenance because the finances are not there. Which means that if that fundamental problem isn't resolved, after 12 days, we'll go back.
Yesterday, the Ghana Revenue Authority put together, you know, a certain idea. They were talking about ITAPs, an integrated. It's going to be an electronic platform where you're going to be able to, you know, submit your returns, and it will help you with auditing, help with business ranking, and plenty other things. I'm now trying to connect the dots, perhaps. Okay, are we trying to make sure that everybody is collecting, so you're able to get money to pay things like that to sustain things like Gridco? Because look, the ripple effect of PDS, if it is not able to supply power to us, the ripple effect on businesses that we saw, the cold store people, the schools, the hospitals, the markets, the laundry, everybody is going to suffer. And once everybody starts drinking the petrol and the diesel that we have, drinking in quote, the prices will go up, you know, because demand will beckon supply to come in, and we will have a problem. So, well, I'm hoping that the vice president will give us a lot of hope today.
We should not sit on
No,
this.
I'm hoping
Johnny,
that
we should not sit on. Look, we're beginning to sit on a problem that will tomorrow come to bite us again. Okay, let us not start keeping the how did they call it? Adani Best's song. Look, let us take the bold decision. The sector is struggling. Let us increase tariffs. Let us pump in the needed money so that in 10 years, we will not see what we saw some years ago. If we do what we're doing today, trying to massage the whole thing, suggesting there's nothing wrong, we're tying in something, and it is that, it is a Pokwasi pylon, it is that, and then in 10 years, we'll see what we reap from what we're sowing today.
I think that the problem, we started window dressing the problem back from the day when we had Dumso for 3 years. Because what we went to get were emergency solutions. The power badges, what I choose to call power banks, were emergency solutions. So if you know you have a problem, you're keeping these power badges for how long? How long can they sustain your national power? And while you have them to fix the problem or to hold the problem for some time, are you trying to fix the fundamental problems as it is? Somebody, an engineer, told me that, look, all the problems that existed for us to have Dumso, they continue to exist because we haven't fixed them.
Exactly.
We only polish on debt.
And that's why
because once the lights are on, people are happy, then we go back to sleep.
Right, and that's where, you know, the concerns you're raising about the power tariffs being increased and the other things that we can do to make sure that we see a permanent end to this is, for me, I think the politicians just either haven't grasped what the problem is, and because of their constant, you know, desire for votes, they are massaging it and lying. But you see, the problem is, if we keep massaging it, remember, parties change hands, and the way our politics runs, if I come into power, I'm going to uncover your rot and I'm going to expose you, and it's going to be such that we can blame you because now you are in a position and the back and forth. But the end of the thing is we suffer. The citizenry will consistently be plunged into this darkness, and we will not be able to solve the issue because we don't have the power to do so.
Right.
So they just need to come out and tell us these are the issues, because when they do this, my scare or my worry is that do they even know the problem? Because we keep pointing fingers at other things. They say it's gas today, we're all rushing towards gas to try and fix it. Tomorrow is the pipelines, tomorrow is the pylons. So what do you want us to
every
do?
week
As
we
a
get a
citizen,
new
I don't have
excuse.
exactly, and that's my worry.
Do you know?
Are we being genuine, or we're just trying to find lies to tell the citizenry, to keep them at bay, to think that you're doing something, and then when your time comes and you leave office, you leave that rot for another person to come and polish up?
Let me ask, let's ask ourselves this huge question. Do you know we're told that the previous government actually had gotten excess power?
Okay. Yes, we were told that.
We did not need that power, and so some agreements were cancelled.
So, yes.
So in terms of generation, we had too much. Let me put it in simple language. We had too much that we decided to do away with some.
And instead of selling,
we had too much. We won't even generate and sell, but so we did away with some.
Right.
Now, if we have enough generation, what is the excuse?
Exactly. Where did that excess?
The key thing is that we don't have the money to buy the fuel, to power the
but Mr.
And the deputy minister says, if we say that, it is nonsense. But he should explain to us that we're told that we had enough excess power, and so we did away with some. Today, we are being told that, well, we are tying the west to the east, and so we cannot generate enough. What explanation is that? How
when
do you explain that
Mr.
to me?
he was in Parliament for his vetting. He said the problem is not about technicality or generation. The problem is a financial problem. He was very emphatic with that. And then we even had somebody also add that it's a wisdom problem. Those were the two. So it's financial and a problem with wisdom. Is it a question that we don't have the money or we don't have the wisdom to fix the problem? That's all I'm asking.
Well,
Mr. John Peter Mewo, good morning to you. What is happening? Is it a technical problem? Is it a financial problem? Is it a wisdom problem? We want to know because we want our lights to be on. As I speak, we have gone to buy credit from PDS with our cards. So the thing is that you are holding on to our money and you are not giving us the power. That's not fair.
Charlie, the teachers who are writing on the questions on the board, Charlie, it's not easy. I've been a teacher before.
Somebody put a question, write a letter to the president, the Minister for Education, telling him the difficulties involved in taking your exam on the blackboard.
That's
the question.
End of term question.
Yes, that's the question. I'm sure the teacher is frustrated and he can't complain.
So you
write
to
it.
help him
when you take your exam sheet home, your parents will see it
Sure.
and they will understand what's going on. But yesterday,
it's not right.
Yesterday, the Ghana Revenue Authority put together, and they're set to launch it, I think, on Friday. The Vice President will launch this platform, ITAPS they call it. So it will be an integrated. It sounds very, very fine. Yesterday, as they explained it, that you go onto the internet, you put in your TIN, your ID number, you're able to file your tax returns. It will tell you how much you pay. It will help you with auditing and all those things. And then, quick question I asked was, has it been piloted? And the answers I got, were for me not so satisfactory. Because if we have not been able to fully pilot it, and we're told that this first phase is the piloting bit. Now, if we roll it out by Friday and everybody hooks onto it, will it jam? Will it be effective? Will
Which
it be
is what we've
efficient?
usually
Yeah,
seen.
I'm just curious to find out.
I'm just wondering why we don't finish off one thing before we start and jump onto another. Already, even the GPS system, I haven't seen the end of it. Many people haven't even registered on that. We've stopped talking about it. GRA has been going on this campaign of everyone coming in willingly, the tin, getting tin. I don't even know how many people still have accessed it. I don't know how intercollaborative that tin number is to your banks, because I still haven't, filled any form where I've been requested to put in a tin. And so I'm wondering, these things we've started, can we make sure we follow through with it and see the end before we jump on to another? Because the same GRA that's going to start this ITAP, do you have oversight responsibilities of this and that, and make sure that they're going to
they say they have it's secure. Johnny. But then another key question that came up was whether we're going to do away with the paper system at some point when ITAP is fully operational.
Well, we must.
And
that should be the idea.
But then we didn't have a timeline also for that. For me, I think it's a good project, but how you manage it, you see, because if I can have convenience at my home, or if I'm in Bolga, I can have convenience, and I work here, but I'm in Bolga, I have convenience to be able to pay my taxes and file it.
Everybody
I'll be happy. With Momo, I'll be happy. But if you can't tell me what I want to know about the thing, it's a problem. So let's wait for Friday and see how it goes. But
today, we have interesting things lined up for you. On entertainment, we'll be talking to Mr. Drew. He's a VGMA nominee for the Unsung category. He'll be joining us in the studio. And then we'll have a playback for Road to JKT, because Easter is coming up and we all have to hit the road and go to JKT.
We're not going anywhere else.
Nowhere.
Nowhere less. I'll go and induct Bright into the Hall of Fame. We'll induct him into the Last year he dodged. So this year we will induct him into the Hall.
He
promises
to be very exciting. Then Daily Run, CID boss says we know where the girls are. That's the Takrade kidnapped girls. And yesterday they mentioned a number of things, talking about Ahmed Swale's investigations, the fact that they've spoken to a couple of people. Then the Britons who were raped, she also spoke about that. Quite interesting revelations. But my worry with this particular topic of knowing where the girls are but failing to divulge where they are because it's part of investigative processes, I think it's not fair to the families. If you come and tell me after 3 months or many months of waiting for my children, you only come and tell me that you know where they are, and in order not to jeopardize their security, you're not telling me where in particular or handing them over to me. Because what I would have been happy to hear is that we've given the girls back to the families, and now we're going to tell you what happened or what we found throughout the investigations. But just giving me the hope that yes, they are safe, which is what I really expect them to be at this particular point where you've been on the case for such a long time, is not satisfying enough. And I think they should have thought about
I was thinking, I sat down thinking, what strategy is the CID trying to adopt? Because the CID seems to be cherry picking on what to update the public about.
And when.
Yes, and when. The CID seems to be cherry picking on what to update the public about. How long have they known where the girls have been? Because we've been asking that question. And ever since they got to know where the girls have been, what is preventing them from getting the girls? Because their parents are worried, they're disturbed. So we want to know. Number two, we're talking about Ahmed Swale's murder, and they are saying that they have submitted everything to the Attorney General. Plenty talk. Look, we've gone beyond the talk. We want to see the action. Because if it's your daughter really who's been kidnapped from November 2018, you will be worried.
That's about 4 months.
Yes, you will be worried. What is she eating? What is happening to her? Is she being defiled? Is she being raped? Is she being molested? Is she being tortured? What is it? When she comes back, is she able to be properly integrated into active society? That's the questions that will flood the minds of the parents. And so if you come and tell me that, oh, you know where the girls are, that's not enough.
Johnny,
that's certainly not enough.
On this, for me,
that's not enough.
I think that the CID has found the girls. This is part of policing. So let us tell the people that we know where they are. The girls perhaps today might be somewhere, sitting somewhere, relaxing, BNI or the headquarters. So maybe in the course of this week or by the weekend or early next week, I'm sure the girls will be paraded and the kidnappers will also be paraded.
That's the belief.
If that is not the case, I'm just thinking for the police CID. If that is not the case, and all they came was to tell us that we know their location, for me, that also jeopardizes their security. Because look, these kidnappers, they also read newspapers, they watch TV, they know what's on social media. So once they get to know that the CID said they know where we are. I mean, you can imagine the other plans they would also have. So I'm just assuming, I'm thinking for the CID that they have found the girls. It's just a matter of time, and then they will tell us.
But then, did you notice that yesterday when the police did the update, they didn't do an update on how the Ghanaian Times reporters who were assaulted by
maybe
the
they've
police.
not finished.
But that's give us an update that you are still on investigation. We didn't get an, and the IGP issued a direct caveat to the CID to investigate. They gave them a week. Today is the end, or maybe 2 days after the end of that thing. Has the report been submitted? What is the update? We want to know. Right. So if it is not as important to you, and yet you will summon a press conference and the press will be there to trumpet what you are putting out there, that's unfair. That's certainly unfair.
Anyway, so we are ranting. The CID boss says we know where the Takrady kidnapped girls are. It's just a matter of time until we give them back to their families. Let's step out and rant and find out what your views are on this.
Hello, good morning and welcome to another edition of your favorite show, The Daily Rant with me, Eric Yerude. Today we are coming to you live from the Ankobra River in the Elembele district of the Western region. Now, the CID boss, Madam Tiwa Adodankwa, says that they know the whereabouts of the 3 kidnapped girls and that very soon the girls will be here with us. But this will not be the first time a top official has given that assurance. Already the Interior Minister and the Gender Minister have assured the parents that they are closing in on the whereabouts of the 3 kidnapped girls, but that was some 3 months ago. With this latest assurance, we are finding out whether people are confident that this time it will not be some, if you will, magical show. This is the Daily Rant. My name is Eric Yerude. Let's keep talking.
A free CID boss. Na nkasa share ya bande me nyini said this time round no e be san so akwa
Interior Minister talking about the
ya kofa nkwala na ba ana so manya ho empopo ye yo nkyere mu ye nkwala ni ye ye be sa kan wo mu wo hen
also locate you. What's that they know the whereabouts?
It's wrong. Why locate where fa I don't know from or maybe they are now custody, so you allocate one another day on for security reasons. Ghana somewhere come paying like individual family is your own nipakono ekwaka che na ma me de won na aba wo he enwa won che de mbofra man or maybe ye no na aba won but men ka de ye hu mbofra won hu won
say security nti eno person can say be say they are fine but to me me can just say ya locate you mu locate you mu where
they dey police for they be public so or motivate police force
Ghana had Ghana had I want eduma na
ke dey we gigi soldier for so no police for ya dey me see girls police for hu omo omo dey mbeba e man ko for say Ghana police if they are well resourced given the needed logistics and attention they will be one of the topmost police officers in the world.
But until when you want
talking of the police, they are not resourced. How? It's when the BBI it's like Obi one under just like that. The police are not resourced. No department, various departments, so CID department, A department. No, they are not resourced. You can't say that they are not resourced.
Well, police force and mokase onye resource that and you no move innocent civilians to no muku won whether they are resource or not is a non-starter e was so ye adwuma eni tia na yafa we adwuma ma ye tia ho ka ye to atade de ahya wo eti eno de is a non-starter no eno ani say awofo epe wo momba mo ehu wo ma fa wo mbra kwame look asawasi victims so mu wu ye no see ya kwesika de mo 250,000 Ghana cedis. Police ni ba na wu okroma ya man 250,000 Ghana cedis. Let's be fair to the police. Police no me. The issue has taken no and is our for airport mo ba. So mo fra na and one say for mo bra ne nsan kom ne mu yem to powder. Press conference ya ye bebre.
My problem again is that this is not the first time we are having a top official making such statements. The Gender Minister came there.
Or say the guy has started talking and the guy has assured them say The girls are safe. These are the
whereabouts of the girls.
This one, no one can say a security reason. Said the guy has started talking. I don't know, making open to the public. Said the guy has started talking. The guy was not talking. Guy, you know Adani Mumu. Guy, you know Adani Mumu Okromha. No Adani Mumu Okromha on Kasa.
But at least we should have some pictorial evidence. We should have some video evidence.
We are journalists. We have been a bachelor of Juma. True of us. Me, yes, me see. For better 4 months and going Kawaka Yakasi Hube, Kawans now. By this time, what for car baby Mobia, Kwafaka who chase you.
Yes, painting. Yes, painting. And see the boss of your cannon. A month for enemy Amidina. Yen GD say, I'm a friend of the painting. What I say, and tis the same of friend of what? You come down me. Woman for Mumra and Finito. Bible say, it's young cat here, on who here, no wajedi. Media, me say, police for. Omohun kwalano majedi ya mfaka satenten entoponko wonhu akwalana fa no bra eno anu no we na da bia ya tiabre eno anu no Bible mumpo no abra Yesu wo sare mpo na enu pa na Yesu afo no wo musi gisam Thomas o si gisam de mensaka ne mfimu ene ne nsamansa enti no de ya pa che ne se si adi boss no si ya baji na sama wo kana de gisi de nsaso ma no mu ti se de Thomas ye na pepepe na say enkwala no hin eno ya sam no so baba jina say hu mu where about any aden there pastor
let's take note of this fact too. Sekendi Takrade MPs one hu the wakadama asemi he had to take the member of parliament far away Elembele to write to the speaker of parliament.
Enye the MPs no nkwa omufi Sekendi Takrade kwa na mresu bo bebo omo Ghana's parliament medi omo ya kakra because ye sa journalist ya yekunu Khashoggi o se hwan yekunu omo ka ho asem na say tsunami bi asisi won krom omo keka ho asem na eyem won say for Sekendi Takrade such a very serious issue see here it was not discussed in parliament until first of all no medi omo ya kakra even though the member of parliament constituency no in some city or no call so but I think that as a very seasoned parliamentarian he should have used his experience and his good office to officially write to the speaker of parliament to draw the attention of parliament to this grave matter, but unfortunately that did not happen. He chose to go to the families, but he could have done better, okay, if he had raised this issue on the floor of parliament just to assure the families he said he's with them. A man for person who say one brashibiyom for I won free at Mantum. One day on Ajim, which was missing. Until Honorable Amakofibua Eden Huji Mono, which is a bit distant from Babia Assembly C no. A man crop for Enya a dream be say Anibiara in somewhere Cosona and found home. Until once already it will continue to be said to say Anibia there's no leadership in the western region. Until was a Brashibum for what to Mantemo. One chair say Bibia a Coso Ewa to Mantemo, Yasim here at the Maumo. No more who say one Becassa, Ediama Mantemu. And yes, sir, we are losing our birthright. MPs now, why, especially Sekendi Takrade Metropolis. We Sekendi Pa, only position, our Bemwa, your deputy ministers, when it comes to Fina, a bit to say Takrade, or Escado Ketan Krade, or your minister for railway development. Entino. Wuntume nkasa eba bema omuntume enkasa omo even Rashebedwam kwa no abujo gato yo bia woka Rashebedwam for mo machepa watumi arise impotumi ababeye deputy speaker penya na je se enioma koye e ho no nimranso ye panto aya attorney general krada enti e ba se yem raise na yen sorry na yen rise na nkasa mbese ya easy man enti sasem kakra kasi yesi wo Takrade deputy minister of aviation now regional minister designate for western region honorable Kobioche da commensa no mo bia ntumi ansore an ka ho asem o parliament dia am fi say to abama o mo o Sekendi Takrade no na achia kakra
me di won ho ye one na at the same time me blame MPs na nkotin region obi a wo de hye nsa ono so me di no ho ye regional minister ye be kada ye former regional minister o say MP me di no so no because ono e pin na nka oda wona na kedo tum sorry o asemi dey no aba ka yen kan bom ka demonstrations na dey okoi dam vigils na dey okoi nka won so won boa wo fo hun jim na nyame bi nkan na nkan wo ye de o sekendi takrade wadwen won bofra man but wan badam nti ame de mo be can be as like me no within sekendi takrade e ho wan kasa bon ho ban men dwen de o mo kwanya asem na panyin bi abobo enya asem o wa asem.
So there you have it. My ranters believe that the police must show enough proof that indeed they have the 3 kidnapped girls here in Sekendi Takrady. What do you think? You can go onto our various social media platforms and post your thoughts there. This has been your daily run from Elembele here in the Western region. Thank you so much for watching.
All right. Thanks so much for your time once again with us. The newspapers are ready. Let's start our conversation. Daily Graphic, Takrady kidnapped girls. We know where they are. The CID says that. And so we're sure we'll get to the bottom of this. The Ghanaian Times carries the same story. Police locate 3 kidnapped girls to be reunited with families soon. That's the big one. And then the Daily Guide stays this morning on the #1 issue, Interpol grabs #1 in Dubai. The police CID story is also here. The finder, 1.9 billion cedi saved in 21 months due to strict scrutiny of procurement. That's the procurement authority they're talking. Historic economic management team town hall meeting today. The vice president has a huge task this morning as he faces Ghanaians to tell them what the economy is all about. So these are some of the stories we'll be taking a look at. My guest to do the talking this morning, the communications director of the CPP, Rauf Kadiri, is here. He's been missing for a long time. He's back. Good morning.
Good morning, Bright.
I hope you're back for good.
I'm back for good, definitely.
Grateful for your time with us. And a former deputy minister, now an aspiring MP for Tamale Central, Comrade Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, is also here. Good morning.
Good morning,
Hope
Bright.
you're good.
I'm good.
And thanks.
Beautiful tie.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us. And then a member of MPP's team, Eric Chum, is also here. Good morning.
Good morning, Bright.
And thanks for your time too.
My pleasure, always.
Let's start the conversation trying to take a look at what the Vice President could be telling Ghanaians this morning when he comes face to face with us. The finder says the historic economic management team town hall meeting today. There's a photograph of the team here from the senior minister, the energy minister, the finance minister, the trade minister, the agric minister, and the planning minister, as well as the evaluation and monitoring, and also Professor Joe as Amwakutu, for all of them here. And Finder says that for the first time in recent history, the economic management team, led by Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bamia, will interact with a cross-section of Ghanaians at a town hall meeting. Over 500 stakeholders and identifiable groups have been invited to participate in that meeting. Individuals who wish to participate were asked to pick up admission cards from the Ministry of Information. And so there's a tall list of the people who are running the country here. A spokesperson to the Vice President, Dr. Gideon Boako, is optimistic that the town hall meeting would largely be questions and answers to enable the Ghanaian people have the chance to be heard and be part of government decision processes. So before that town hall meeting starts, we'll hold our own here. 3 Ghanaians in the studio will be talking. Certainly, I need to.
Oh, you're taking
okay, I am just the moderator, so let me take myself out. All right. So let's start the conversation this morning. Eric, let me certainly start with you. The Vice President town hall meeting. What are the expectations? Hopeful solutions to the problems we're going through?
Good morning once again. Good morning to Kadiri and Murtala. I've been saying Kadiri for a while. Murtala has already started being mischievous. And you have to warn him. You know? It's important. Otherwise, I'll give him the shoulder.
But these days, you can never tell who is a member of National Security.
Well, but you see, the thing is that we're running a democracy. I think even before the program started officially, we're having a conversation about the sort of things that we need to do to enrich our democracy. Because in the final analysis, any government definitely has a social contract with the people, and that it's important that every now and then you would come and tell the Ghanaian populace exactly what you're doing, where you have come from, the issues that bedeviling this country, and things that you put in place to make sure that the ordinary Ghanaian citizen is comfortable. So I think that this is something that needs to be commended. Like you rightly read, essentially this is probably the very first time that we've had the opportunity to see an economic management team in this particular form coming out to do a public discourse, so that the Ghanaian populace would be able to also, one, bring out their questions, and then they will find answers to them as well. And then it becomes something that you can actually extend. It becomes something that can go to other parts of the country, and even in terms of various sectors. It is not a town hall meeting for journalists. I'm sure some journalists will be there, but I think that
it's not for journalists.
Arrangement is such that as many Ghanaians as possible, or interest groups as possible, will be able to get opportunities to ask pertinent questions. And I believe strongly that the economic management team would also have an opportunity to answer some of these questions. We are coming from the backdrop of coming out of the IMF arrangement. I think that today is officially the first day of coming out of the IMF. And it's also important that we get a certain idea of where we are going and what the prospects are for us as a people. So for me, I think that this is a national conversation. It's not necessarily political, but government has a responsibility to express what it's doing, and then also the populace would also have an opportunity to see what government is doing. So I'm looking forward to it. I believe strongly there are some key significant policy statements will be made today in terms of where we want to go as a country, and then both, of course, in the short to medium term and the long term of the economy.
I'm sure you get the chance to react to the issues that will be raised. But Kadir Abdul Rauf, the meeting is on the theme our status, our progress, our status, our future. So that's a complete picture of the state in which we are. How would the Vice President deal with this? Or how should he deal with this?
Okay, first of all, let me also say a very good morning to our cherished viewers. And also to congratulate the sister who got married over the weekend in Tamale Ivy. Yeah. And then her husband, Alaji Badawi. I think I was supposed to be there, unfortunately I couldn't. So I want to use this opportunity to congratulate them. Having said this, I think that even the timing of this particular engagement somewhat is problematic in the sense that if you are running into the third year of your administration, now you want to determine the future of the country third year into the administration. I think the timing itself, to start with, is problematic. But however, like Chum said, yeah, it's a social contract that the MPP has with the Ghanaian people. And it's very necessary and relevant that from time to time, the powers that be engage the ordinary people, so that our views could be captured into the processes of governance. But however, I think that at this moment, whatever the situation is, every Ghanaian who is living in Ghana today already know the state of the country. So I don't know whether it's going to be a lecture that they are coming to deliver. Because whatever the Vice President is going to say is something that Ghanaians know from practical experience. So personally, I am not too happy with the way things are going in this country. And then we have had the opportunity as a party to register our disquiet towards, issues. For example, look at the issue of energy in this country. I thought we would have even discussed that this morning. And I believe it's going to be a subject which will be discussed by the Vice President. We all know that energy has become a problem in this, is becoming a problem in this country in the sense that, so for example, when John Mahama was in power, some of us had cause to question the competence of the NDC and then what have you, particularly in relation to the energy sector. Today, Ghana is gradually and systematically being returned to the bemorned days of Dumso. And then we are hearing a lot of explanations from government. But from all sides, we are made to believe, even from experts, that the problem is largely financial. The state is broke. We don't have money to buy fuel to power, plants and what have you. So I would have expected that this morning, in this morning's lecture, the Vice President would tell us what the true situation is. Because at the moment, everybody is being, making arguments from their own angle, saying this is the problem, that is the problem. And experts in the industry are telling us that forget about what the politicians are saying. This is the problem. So my expectation for this engagement this morning is that the Vice President should actually be very sincere with the Ghanaian people. Let us know what the problem is. Given the fact that we are being told that in 10 to 12 days, the issue of Dumso is going to be resolved in the country, I take it with deep doubt, in the sense that today is 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, today is 3rd. Anyway, this month will finish, and yet the problem persists. So it means that it goes beyond what we are being told. So my expectation generally is that this morning, the Vice President and the economic management team, because they are the backbone to whatever is happening in this country, they should be sincere with the masses of the people of this country. They should tell us what the problem is, because we all know that once you don't get the energy sector right, every other sector is going to be affected. So these are issues. And also,
why is it that you don't believe what the Deputy Energy Minister said, that, I mean, raising concerns about government's ability to finance the sector is neither here nor there, that there is no such problem. And that is purely a technical problem. Why don't you believe it is?
Because this argument even started, I think, about 2 months ago. I remember that I was following, I think it was even Chum and then the MP for Tamale Central, Inusa Fisini. They were discussing this same issue. And then he was saying that the argument that the MPP was making, that they wanted to cause a certain reverse flow in gas from Temat wasn't true, and whatever. It's been more than 2 months. You understand? So given the kind of explanations that are being given, this person says this, that person says that, it actually constitutes ground for us to be doubtful of what is coming from government. And me, if you ask me, when it comes to critical issues like this, I would rather take the opinion of experts. Expert opinion is very important than what, government. You don't expect government to take a position that would indict government. So I am doubtful, because, and I'm throwing a challenge out there, that we have been given, and the interesting thing is that we are told 10 to 12 days to mark it on the world. It will come, the problem will persist. I'm not being a prophet of doom, but that is a reality. So this morning, the Vice President should seize the opportunity.
Should be heavy on energy.
Yeah, and then, let us know what the problem is and how they are going to deal with it once and for all, so that we'll not go back to the bemorned days of Dumso.
Comrade.
Well, let me say good morning to you and to my mischievous brother and my true brother, who happened to also be...
Oh, so he is a true brother.
Yes, who happened to also be a constituent. And I do know that should I, inshallah, be given the nod to represent the NDC in the 2020 elections, I know strongly that he would support me, even though he belongs to CPP as a brother. Yes, I know, but sometimes it's not just a candidate. That's why people have skirt and blouse. So I'm strongly convinced that my brother, and once a comrade, always a comrade. CPP has been my father's party, and a party that I cherish and value, to be very honest, because of the ideological position. Yes, the problem we have today is that this social contract, as my brother seeks to postulate, and as a reason why this encounter is coming up, it's not just a social contract. If it was a social contract adherently followed, I believe that we would have had at least 2 previous such social, contract encounter. I'm saying it doesn't matter. The point is that there is a pressure that is exerted on the Vice President and the government. And let's admit that the pressure has occasioned this attempt to see whether they can appease the already frustrated and dejected, disillusioned, disenchanted Ghanaian. Because everybody knows the state of the economy of this country. I have my individual state of the economy, he has. But the larger masses of our people know that the state is terrible. They know that there is a challenge with regards to security. They know that they are sleeping in darkness without any decent response from government, by telling people that indeed we are in Dumso and therefore people can properly plan. This government doesn't have the courtesy to tell Ghanaians that we have Dumso so that there can be a load shedding, then people can properly plan. The NDC did that. The NDC, in fact, to the extent that President Mahama apologized incessantly to Ghanaians when we experienced this, and readily provided a load shedding schedule that people could indeed plan. People, I'm told, just yesterday, someone took his meat and sent it to one of the service providers, a rotten meat, because he never knew that this was going to be done. And you ought to iron your things very early, and if you don't even take time, your kids won't take their hot meals before they go to school. I mean, that is the state of it. What is the Vice President coming to tell us? Is he coming to tell us that they have finally arrested...
solutions, of course.
Is he coming to tell us that they have finally arrested the cedi, the dollar, which has now become a fugitive? Because if you arrest a dollar and locked it at the police headquarters and handed the keys over to the IGP, and it has broken jail, in the legal parlance, it is a fugitive, or the security parlance, a fugitive. Now, a dollar that indeed started running like Usain Bolt, and perhaps the city running like myself and my brother, because we certainly can run like Usain Bolt, that when they pumped in money, one of the laziest way of bolstering the domestic currency, and this laziness was also described by one of the founding members of the NPP, that respected person, Mr. Mpienu, who said that, look, you don't show up the value of your currency by just pushing money into the system. We had a temper, and I said on a sister station publicly and loudly that the attempt to inject $800 million into the system with the intention of indeed reducing the disparities between the dollar and the cedi was temporary. The dollar fell up to 5.1 against the cedi today, this morning, 5.33. So we are heading back to, so what would have been the purpose for it? And I agree absolutely with my brother when he says that this lecture should be on the energy. Look, and I agree with you, we had them so. Maybe many people didn't take notice of the fact that in this country, for every 10 years we're experiencing doom so. President Mahama took a decision and a position against the views of many people in his government, including ministers, who felt that we also needed to come with that knee-jerk response by just finding an ad hoc solution to the doomsday that we were experiencing. He said we need to find a permanent solution in this country. Our energy supply is provided by two means, thermal and hydro. Now, if you look at Akusumbo, which is hydro, has a capacity of 1,120 megawatts. Then you have Pong, which has a capacity of 180. Then you have Bui, which had the capacity of 400. However, at the time when we were experiencing doomsday, between 2012 to 2014 and 15, Akusumbo was producing 360 instead of 1,120 megawatts. Pong was producing 60 megawatts instead of 180, and Bui was producing 200 instead of 400. So what President Mahama did, a leader with a vision, said, look, we can't rely on hydro, because relying on hydro means that anytime water levels go down, then you are going to have a challenge. So if hydro is providing 60 and thermal is providing 40, then we need to increase our production of energy through thermal. And that was the reason why President Mahama went in. We brought Ameri, we brought AXA, we brought Car Power. Now, all of this, that was able to produce, to provide our capacity need to be able to generate enough revenue. I listened to the president in Chicago, and he said that doomsday is a thing of the past at the very time when many Ghanaians were sleeping in doomsday. And he said that today, as a result of what we have done, we are now exporting energy to Togo. The president completely lost touch with reality. We have started exporting energy to Togo and Ivory Coast, not today. It didn't take you. I listened to the Minister of Energy on PM Express, on Joy. They asked him, have you added a single megawatt? He said, we haven't added anything. But let me tell you the shocking aspects why the economy is in challenge. And haven't been... Can I please? Why?
It's been going for 10 minutes.
Why are you...
Come on, get ready to wrap up so that...
I mean, at the point I even lost him. I'm like, what's going on?
It was a monologue. The problem is that I'm talking to Ghanaians, not you.
Yeah, if you want him alone to be here, we can leave and he can have the show.
Can I finish? Do you want me to stop?
Please go on.
So if you look, in fact, the figures, I know he's uncomfortable because of the figures I'm going to. Now, when all these things were provided, we then looked at the liquidity aspects of it. Gridco, ECG, Netco, they were all indebted. And remember, that indebtedness didn't start with President Mahama or President Kufuor. The legacy debts, it has been with us for a very long time. Now, what we did, we came out with ESLA. The ESLA was just the energy sector levy And the ESLA was able to pay all the debts of ECG, for which reason in 2016, ECG made a profit of 725 million Ghana cedis. We were able to pay all the debts at GRICO, for which reason in 2016, GRICO made a profit of 69 million. And of course, NETCO, which was making losses in several millions of Ghana cedis, in 2016 made a loss of just 1.39. Now, when we handed over these positives to this government, you know what happened? And the figures don't lie. In 2017, ECG didn't maintain the profit of 725 million we made. They made a loss of 521 million. GRICO made a loss of 31 million, and NETCO, which made a loss of 1.39 million in 2016, made a loss of 10 million. But you know what? The shocking, 2018, ECG made a loss of 2 billion Ghana cedis. So I'm saying that you can't have any excuse, and you do know that once the energy sector, which serves as sine qua non to any economic development anywhere in the world, now while that sector is affected, then you are going to have some of these challenges. So what we expect the Vice President is to tell us how super incompetently they have managed the energy sector, how super incompetently they have failed to arrest the fugitive dollar, and why there is insecurity in this country. For which reason investors are unwilling, and for which reason, my last point, that the very people, can I make 30 seconds?
No, you make that point because we have another round to do on this. So you stay there. You stay there. Come and stay there. So Eric, now let's begin to react to some of the issues. Now, Kadiri is, for instance, raising the timing of this town hall meeting, and also Mutala thinks that the Vice President is under pressure to deliver this.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've actually ever heard. And to start with, I totally disagree with Kadiri in terms of the timing. I mean, this is perfect timing. I'm saying that
3 years into.
No, but that is not to say. This is for the very first time an economic management team basically presenting itself to be able to interact with Ghanaians and create a discourse surrounding pertinent issues in the economy. Now, I mean, again, it is not true that the energy sector has been mismanaged as we speak. I mean, if for one reason or the other, as a citizen or a consumer is unhappy because their lights have gone up, I will be unhappy if my lights go off. And there's absolutely no reason to sit here and justify why even if it's a state agency or a private entity that is meant to give me a particular service and is not being able to do it. We are not going to countenance that. And we believe strongly that the energy minister has the competence and the conviction to be able to deal with the issues. Now, if they give a timeline from 10 to 12 days, and you, for one reason or the other, do not agree with that or you're skeptical about that, that is also a right. But I don't believe that the energy ministry will come and talk to the entirety of Ghanaians and say that, well, this is the reason why we are facing these challenges, but we are going to deal with it. And I heard the CEO of Ghana Gas explicitly talking about the need for them to switch the valve so that
the tie-in
projects, so that they'll be able to move from the western part of the country into the eastern part of the country. So we would give them the benefit of that. That is not to say that if the lights go off or people have no right to question why we probably didn't put in some kind of alternative measures to make sure that the lights don't go off. But that is not to look to say that the energy sector has been mismanaged by this government.
The experts are suggesting that even with the tie-in, we could have fueled plants in the eastern part, Tema, to continue producing.
No, but right, that's what I'm saying. That
but because we don't have the money, that's
those
you don't believe in
those recommendations or those suggestions can be justified. I have no challenge with that. I'm saying that we are not in Dumso. And then this attempt to create a certain... No, listen, this attempt to create a perception or even an impression that the 4 years that we had to grapple with Dumso in this country is what is pertaining today. It's neither here nor there. Listen, you guys run a media agency. And I was coming here in the era of Dumso, where anywhere you go in this country, part of the country, all that you hear is the sound of generators. Businesses had to close down. your cost of doing business went up because you had to fuel your generators, your plants. And that is not what is happening today. That is not to say
you
that...
You haven't heard the generators
No,
yet?
that is not to say
but
that...
I had one this
That
morning.
is, yeah, but you had one.
I mean,
yeah, but
area.
you were in this country for 4 years, right? 4 years in this country where every single place that you go, barber shops, hairdressers, all of those things, people had to basically find alternative means of energy. You understand? So we've gone past that stage. It's a given that in the last few weeks or so, there has been some sporadic challenges with the energy sector. But that does not mean that we've gone back to the era of doing so. Otherwise, it flies in the face of the same logic that my friends are trying to tell me when the NDC claims that they solved the issues, there's enough generating capacity, and within 2 years...
He says you've mismanaged what they left
that
for
is
you.
not the case at all. And I have every confidence in the energy ministry to deal with these issues that we are facing right now. Again, this attempt to create a certain perception that the vice president is running away from things that he has said in the past and that he's under pressure to come and speak is neither here nor there. And that is probably one of the reasons why today he's actually going to go out there and speak and actually confirm and reiterate the positions that he has taken even in opposition. Now, the NDC is a funny group of people. Listen, the fundamentals of the economy still remain the fundamentals of the economy. And if they want us to go there and drill down to the basics, the numbers, every single indicator, the MPP, every time the MPP has been in power, has been way better than the NDC has. Every time. On every single metric. But you see, this is not what the ordinary people want to see. They want to see practical solutions. They want to see a certain impact in their everyday lives. You understand? And that is what this government is doing. Now, you see, it is also important, and Bright, you guys in the media should do this work for me. Listen, in 2014, when the NDC had been in power for 5 years, from January 7, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 13, 14, former President Mahama came out and told the entire country that the meat has been eaten to the bone and that we have to tighten our belts. That is when they came out with this ridiculous attempt to tell us about something called policy credibility. In the final analysis, they took us to the IMF and we had a full-blown bailout. Now, the consequences of some of these things, he's talking about the city. And today, I'm sure that the EMT would actually lay bare all the facts. The consequences of us taking us to the IMF, and even when the NPP took power, the things, the conditions that the NDC government were meant to meet to be able to exit, they had failed on every single indicator.
That's not true.
Every single indicator. Now, so for me, I'm very confident that we can have that conversation. We can have an open discussion about the two political parties. Which one is a better manager of the economy? And there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Now, every single indicator, listen, they are under them, manufacturing sector was growing at a negative. Agric, services sector, they were still not able to pay teacher training allowances, nursing training allowances. They mismanaged the economy. Young graduates who had left school 4 or 5 years didn't have an opportunity to find work in the public sector because of all those conditionalities.
So we are better off today.
Yes.
We are better off
today. But
and
you have to draw your mind to this. And you have to, and I think that all the viewers watching would have to actually apprise their mind to this. If you look at the trajectory that this economy was going under the watch of the NDC, compare that and see where we would have been today. Now, I will tell you, and I'm sure that once the conversation comes out, you would even emerge the sort of work, the sort of competence that they had to take to be able to even exit this IMF thing. So for me, I think that we can have a dispassionate conversation if a Ghanaian, by virtue of the fact that they have a right to demand a certain level of governance from anybody that is ruling this country, has any indication that whatever it is that the MPP promised has not happened, or they have having challenges, they have every right to do so. But we are confident that when it comes to a conversation surrounding the management of economy and which of these two political parties would have a better way or a projection for the future. That's the MPP.
That's the MPP.
And
Okay.
that's what the Vice President will do.
Ralph,
Yes.
come in. For the NPP, we're better off today. So the Vice President has an easy task convincing us that all is well. That's what he says.
Yeah, essentially that is what he has said. But I just pray that what he has said just now should resonate with the people of this country. Because if you are an ordinary Ghanaian just like me, you find it very difficult, if not impossible, to believe what my brother has just said. Because the issue is that when you go around the country, and me speaking from the CPP, at least I have had opportunity, and you are a witness, to condemn the John Mahama administration at every opportunity that I got. Now, if I'm going to re-evaluate and do reassessment of the things that happened in John Mahama's administration and what is happening now, I can hardly see any fundamental difference. In fact, I can even say that the things that I'm seeing now even give me cause to worry than in the erstwhile John Mahama administration. Why? We are talking about, when I was making my argument, I didn't say that we are in doom, so that gradually we are going back there. And it usually starts from somewhere. It usually starts from somewhere. So today we are told that Car Power, which has a generation capacity of about 450 megawatt, is producing at 180. So when you put all these things together, it tells you that the problem is not capacity. And it has to be made very clear. It's not capacity. It has to do with finances. And we all know that.
But that's the conjecture, because
it is not. It is not.
So
I am actually
in 10 days' time, when the problem is fixed, what would you say?
It is not a conjecture.
No,
and you know very well that it is not a conjecture.
Come on.
We have listed. I may not
be
an expert in that area.
At 180.
But
the only thing we don't know is the explanation why.
There can be a number. There can be a number of reasons for that.
It's taking
I am
my
not
time.
here.
You have had your time. Let me finish.
To defend things that. No. I'm not here to say that if your lights go off, or some people have not had their lights go off.
Do you know why Car Power is unable to produce at full capacity?
But for you to
Eric,
suggest,
do you know why
Car
Car Power is unable to produce at full capacity?
I wouldn't have the nitty-gritties of that.
So that's it. He's unable to tell why Car Power is not producing at full capacity.
So I am suggesting to him respectfully that they are unable to produce to capacity simply because of money. You understand? And then I may not be an expert in this area, and I will not pretend to be one. But at least the experts have told us that fundamentally, the problem has to do with money. So the question the Vice President and the economic management team should attempt to resolve this morning is how they are going to get money to run this country. Now, if we hear things that, we are better managers, when the facts on the ground does not, appear consistent with what you are telling
the
us,
indicators,
then it means that we are also drifting away from reality.
It doesn't show that they are better managers.
I doubt it, to be very honest.
I respectfully.
And we can pick sector.
No, but it's 3 against 1. I have to speak. 3 against 1. It's obvious it's 3 against 1. Even when I'm speaking, interjects the two of you.
Eric,
come on,
please.
Yes, it's 3 against 1.
Let's have a beautiful conversation.
So
Ralph, he says the indicators are clear. I mean, the economic indicators, inflation, interest rate, it tells you that they are better managers. That's what
that is not correct. That is not correct. Just look at the dollar against the cedi, which also plays a critical role in the economy of the country. It is very obvious that the cedi is trading. And when you compare the dollar to the cedi in this administration and the erstwhile administration, clearly the facts speak for themselves. It is not for me to make this thing out. So Ghanaians are not that daft. Ghanaians, actually understand issues. And my view is that what my good brother Chum, I respect him so much, is saying, it's not entirely the truth. It doesn't resonate with what is happening on the ground. And we can go sector by sector. Now, you are talking about the fact that nurses' salary and what have you. Every now and then, they are out there. They are the Ministry of Health. Where have you, rampaging and demonstrating. Demonstrations everywhere in this country. We hear, today you hear teachers, NAGRAT, nurses, and then what have. These things are happening in the country. Unless, of course, maybe you have lost touch. And I don't believe that you have lost touch with the reality on the ground. So, essentially, since we are still talking about the economy and the lecture that is going to, because I call it a lecture, actually, I think that it is not coming to say something that the Ghanaian people are not already aware of. Maybe they are just trying to come and explain to us why they are not able to. And to me, that would be better. Because we, at this point, we want sincerity. Just be very sincere with us. You just go, oh, look, people of Ghana, you know, we thought this was the case, and then having, you know, assumed the reins of power, we see things to be different. So just, I think it would help a lot. If you tell us that, oh, what we are seeing, what we are going through on daily basis is not true, it is this, you might be offending us significantly. And I think MPP communicators must have to be very careful about it. Because if we say that this is like me, I know that in my area, in the last 3 days, there has actually been light off, particularly in the morning, from 8 o'clock to 6 in the morning. So now if you tell me that there's no doom, so, and yesterday, City FM, City TV, they did a documentary. Went around, they were speaking to hairdressers, tailors, and then what have you. And they were saying that they are not able to work because of the energy, you know, problem. Now, if you say that these problems do not exist, it means that you are insulting
I did not say that.
Okay, all right. Let me get comment to come in. Yes.
Right, tell him when he was speaking, I listen.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right, first and foremost, the people of this country, whether NDC or CPP or NPP, have the right to demand answers. And I was very happy when my brother said that he will not take what the NPP says or any political party says, but what the experts say. ASEP. ASEP is an energy think tank, or a think tank, if you like.
Reputable, yeah.
Reputable, which was formed by the current Deputy Minister for Energy, who happened to be my senior brother and a teacher. Adam Mohamed Amin Anta taught me. And when he formed that organization, the closest person he worked with in that organization is the current Minister for Energy. ASEP did all the propaganda for NPP in opposition.
That's what you think?
Yes, they did. The current chief, look, I questioned even Adam Mohamed Amin Anta, the positions he took on some of the debt that this the service providers face, the demand they made on the NDC government to provide solutions to them. Yet he became the Deputy Minister for Energy and nothing is heard about that. I'm saying that the current chief executive of that organization stated publicly that we are in doom so. So if there is any organization that you doubt the credibility and you won't take what they say, I don't think that you would want to doubt what comes from ASEP, an organization that was formed by the current Deputy Minister and the Minister. He said we are in doom so. Now, I raised pertinent issues, and I thought my brother was going to question the facts provided, because these are facts provided by your incompetent government. Your incompetent and corrupt government provided those facts. And I'm speaking to those facts. You see, it's amazing that today you are telling us that what NDC did, the track record of the NDC and the MPP in terms of how this country is governed, the dichotomy is too wide. You borrowed over 50 billion, over 60 billion now in 2 years. You have not even a gutter to show. The NDC borrowed, we have projects to show. We indeed executed projects that you are not even competent enough to commission.
Not after 8 years.
Please, why?
They're only 3 years.
You see the hypocrisy in this country. You have the vice president who came out 100 days touting the achievements of the MPP, and he mentioned 140 plus achievements in 100 days. He did that. Interestingly, last week, they said they've achieved 40-something, targets or objectives. 144 has been reduced to 40-something. Now, if you made promises and you give timelines, people would judge you and assess you based on that. But you see, coming events, they see cast their shadows before them. There is a proverb in the Ban, and with all apologies to your viewing public, that when you sleep with an itching anus, you are bound to wake up with smelling fingers. That is what is happening to this government. You made promises and you gave time bound. You told the people of this country that the NDC was incompetent. And I can tell you, we have demonstrated prowess in terms of competency in every single sector and every single ministry. And that is why I pointed out to you. That is why I have pointed out to you. Let's take security. Nobody lives safely in this country again. Everybody is insecure, and leading members of your party and your government themselves are acknowledging to that. The president himself recently said that yes, times are hard. Let's take the economy. The cedi, the dollar is a fugitive. Prices are escalating. As a matter of fact, importers and exporters who actually contributed, particularly Abuso Okan, they contributed $200,000 to your campaign. They are demanding their money. Nobody is importing, nobody is exporting. Everything is, if I can borrow the Nigerian musician word, everything jaga jaga poor man, they suffer. That is what we are going through in this country. So when you sit here and you tell us that no, the economic conditions, what we did was better. The NDC encountered Dumso. And like I said, perhaps you are not listening, that if you observe in this country, we have experienced Dumso virtually every 10 years. The 4th Republican Constitution, which came into effect in 1993, from that time up to date, President Mahama took a bold decision and said that, look, we need to increase our generation capacity. Now look at Aska and Amiri and Co. They're producing below capacity because you don't have money to pay them. Now if you look at the contradictory positions and statements that are made by leadership of this government and the communicators, it leaves room for desire. And to be very honest with my brother, he knows too well the conditions of Ghanaians. Now, when you talk about the kinds of jobs you create, which one? They came out and said that the one district, one factory, not a single district, not a single factory, not a single factory. What they have done.
Well, that's what it's about.
That is another deceit. Now, check the MPP promises when they were campaigning. Check their manifesto. And
you know our
hold on,
manifesto
please.
I
may not know your manifesto better than, but I know the aspects of the manifesto.
Yes.
And the promise you made with regards to you are going to have factories in every single district. I am saying that take the MPP campaign promises, take their manifesto, come and look at the 2017 financial statement, the budget, 2018. You had figures that you provided in the 2017 financial statement, how much you were going to spend for industries. And you indicated in it palpably that you were going to provide 192 factories. And that you are going to provide each 92 districts, and that you are going to provide each of them with 2 million Ghana cedis. Multiply 104. So multiply 104 by 2 million. That will give you about 208, isn't it? Yet in the same financial statement, you had only 40 million for those industries, not a single one. Now, you know the narrative. The narrative has now changed. We never said we're going to build factories. We said we're going to create an enabling environment for factories to start. And I said, God save this country. That is the responsibility of every government, to create an enabling environment for businesses to strive. Everything, jaga, poor man, they suffer, apart from you guys in
I'm grateful.
Yeah, but
yes, quickly. Let's get ready to wrap up on this one. No, we're wrapping up.
Then I also come.
I'll speak. I never said that people have not experienced their lives going off. But the phenomenon that became known as Dumso is not what we are experiencing.
So we are not
today.
in Dumso. That
is not what we are experiencing.
We are not in Dumso.
When he was making a point, he made a point that some monies have been borrowed and there's nothing to show for it and all of those. You see, as for the NDC, when they speak like this, I get extremely disappointed. Listen, this recklessness and irresponsibility in terms of managing the economy, right, and the fiscal indiscipline is what took us to the IMF. And you see, I wanted Mutala to understand, and I think that my friend Kadiru too can ask this question at least. Which political party was in government between the 2009 to 2014 that necessitated Ghana having to go to the IMF for a bailout?
Can I answer?
That is the NDC. 5 years. They ran the economy aground. You understand? Now, it's as if that you create a problem, another entity comes in to try and resolve it. And you're saying, oh, it's up, you leaving your cat to go out there as a stray cat. I take the cat, take him to my house, I feed him for a few years, and then you call me and say that my cat likes milk. That is what the NDC are doing. But you see, we would make them, account for the stewardship.
What is the point you're making here?
The point
because the NDC messed up the economy, the ordinary Ghanaian should not ask for what...
Those are, like, I'm saying that. You see, you also have to look at it from this perspective. This government is responsive to the needs of the average Ghanaian. It's also respectful of the fact that there's a certain social contract. That is why the economic management team is bringing itself out there to the fore to deliberate on this. They say you can't be a repository for all, regardless of the fact that you're a government. And I'll tell you this for free. The EMT has had several interactions with various interest groups, from market women, from traders, from civil society, from manufacturing concerns and all of those things, to arrive at this particular juncture in terms of our conversation, discourse on how we want to move forward.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with coming out there and telling the people of this country that, yes, this is what we came to meet. This is what we've done so far. These are the things that we are putting in place to make sure that we mitigate some of the challenges that we are facing today as a people. And these are the projections for the future. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. Again, when they say that, well, you promised this and didn't do that. Listen, if you want to go and see the one district, one factories, they are out there.
Where?
The conversation also is that government promised to build, physically go and set up factories and build. That wasn't the conversation. Okay. And if you want to reference our manifesto, you're free to do so. A lot of work has been done. Even the companies that have been given, what do you call it?
The support.
The support, right? The stimuli to be able to move away from their initial production, because these are companies that were found to be viable but were going through challenges. It's there. It's all there. In the 2018 budget.
Okay.
220 million was actually given to this company. So it's very important. No, listen, let me finish. Just to wrap up. It is not to say, I'm not going to sit here and say that, well, if one individual, even an ordinary Ghanaian, says that I'm facing challenges, that is not justified. Okay. But if you do a comparative analysis and you see where we are going and the kind of economy that was bequeathed to us, that was inherited
we're on the right path.
We are on the right trajectory.
Okay.
Right. Quickly.
No.
I don't want to forget.
Come in. So 3 years on, you're wrapping up. Right? 3 years on. How should this team be talking to us? We're wrapping up on this.
Well, I thought that you introduced a very important subject that borders on security. You know, we have actually dealt with the energy insecurity. So I thought that you would have brought the Nigerian kidnapping issue.
Because of time, but you can quickly.
So I'll just wind up on that. I think that there again too, we are saying that there is increasing spate of insecurity in the country. You know, every now and then we will wake up to a new story of kidnapping. And all these kidnappings have been done by Nigerians. So the question then again is, what is the government doing about the security of the Ghanaian people, our children,
from the NDC,
our children? You understand? And also, last night I was told that there was another kidnapping of a 50-year-old woman in Accra here.
The kidnapper was arrested.
It means that we can't sleep safe again in this country. So when you also do analysis of this security, and then in this country today, you realize that it's also something which is quite problematic. So my problem or my issue that I want to say concerning this issue is that we have an increasing levels of insecurity in this country, not just energy insecurity. Our children, even we ourselves, we are not safe in this country again. No, and the government has actually do something about it.
Okay. You see, we are all very, we are at a certain level.
Wrap up for me.
Sometimes,
we don't have a lot of time.
Some of these conversations,
please allow Ibrahim Murtala to.
Okay, quickly. Bright, first and foremost, like I said, we can sit here.
You're wrapping up, so don't
we can sit here and do our NDC, NPP politics.
CPP.
And CPP.
You see,
politics.
it doesn't respect your party.
Thank you. Unsolicited. You know, we can sit here and do that kind. The reason is that we engage in that politicking, not with the CPP. And I'm saying that we can do that. The interest of the Ghanaian people is that they sleep and wake up without any fear. The interest of the people of this country is that they know that the NDC put up hospitals with the monies we borrowed that you are incompetently failing to commission. They know that the NDC started feeder roads, urban roads that were rehabilitated. New roads were being built, that you have come and then you have incompetently abandoned them. They know that even in the heart of the city, University of Ghana Hospital is standing there. You have hospitals that we put up for some uncontrollable ego. You are failing to commission those hospitals. The people of this country know that there were cheap compounds that were built across the country, that they know that you are incompetently failing to allow them to continue. So when you sit here and you do your politics and you say that, oh, the economy is better, the people of this country do know. Can you mention the number of roads projects that you have abandoned? Even though you have borrowed more than any political party ever in our history has ever borrowed. True. As a matter of fact, within 2 years, you borrowed almost 60 billion.
You don't understand. How can I explain?
How can you explain? Forget it. You see, they understand everything. You see, when they were arguing, they use raw figures. Now, when you argue, they say we are servicing it. Which government doesn't service that? Every single government does. You see, regardless of all this, In this country, the reason why I can understand my brother not appreciating the challenge we face is that this country is being run by 4 people. The president, his brother Bumpty, the Minister of Finance, and Gabi. I am telling you for a fact. So they may appreciate it. You see, because you won't appreciate some of these things. So when you come and then you argue, that the people of this country are living very comfortably, they will get very angry.
I'm grateful. We have to go. I'm grateful. Kadir Abdul Rauf is the communications director of the CPP. Kadir, grateful for your morning with us. We hope to see you again. And Comrade Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, NBC aspiring candidate for Tamale Central, a former deputy minister. Eric Tum is a member of the NPP's team. Grateful for your morning with us. There is more coming up on the show. Stay right here on TV.
I don't know anybody.
And joining us in the studio very soon, because he's a VGMA nominee for Unsigned category, Mr. Drew. He'll be here in the studio to have a chit chat so we get to know more about him. But it's time for us to talk about Easter. Where are you planning to spend your Easter this year? Certainly, if you have no plans, then make sure all the roads are leading to Jekiti in the eastern region. With us here at Media General, we're all taking that trip to discover that lovely place. Why don't you join us? Let's go out there with Johnny Hughes and find out what Jekiti has to offer.
Tourism is a very important developmental tool. And as we've come to know, Ghana has many tourist attractions and many sites that have not yet been explored. One of such is Jekiti. Jekiti is somewhere in the eastern region, well beyond Kosombo. So we decided to take this trip to find out what Jekiti holds, what story it can tell, and what potential it holds for us to explore together as a country to be able to make the best out of it. Come with me and let's hit the road on to Jekiti.
I'm too spirited, I'm cool tempered. They say my dance is silly, yo. My girls are hips, yo. I love my soccer, all my ladies taste like sugar.
We have had a smooth sail through the 19-kilometer road from TV3 onto the motorway, and now we are at the Ashaman roundabout. Guess what? This roundabout leads you to 3 places. To my right is the beautiful town of Ashaman. And to my left, you'll find the Gulf City drive on to Adan and Sogakope. But that's not our focus for today. Our focus, as I told you earlier, is to go eastwards. We're heading this way. And this space takes us through to Akonsombo and on to Jekiti. And on that stretch, we get to see the beautiful town of Akuse. We'll see the Adomi Bridge and many other exciting stuff. So come with me and let's explore Ghana. From Afienya, we hit Doyimu, and at Doyimu you find the Shah Hills Game Reserve. It's about a 1-hour drive from Accra. At this place, the baboons behind me, they're very exciting to watch. There's a lot more wildlife in there that you can go watch. So on our way to Jekiti, which is the destination, we stop over here to take a look with our friends, and you saw us feeding them. Exciting time, isn't So here we are at Atimpoku, and this is a very common staple you find here. They call it what? Abolo. Okay. Abolo means bread, right? Now, Senpai is with me here because we're on a trip together, and it is mainly because he was the first person who went to discover Jekiti as a tourist site that we could possibly explore. I'm sure you've seen all these fine women around me. They're selling their own. Okay, they're running away now. They don't want to be in the shot, but guess what? This is nice. It's sugary, and all of them. Okay. What is abolo? Okay, give me some. Let me buy. Everybody wants us to buy their stuff, so we're buying abolo. There's clearly so much to buy from here. The economic activity is booming, and guess what? On our way to Jekiti, we find a lot of activity happening right here. What is this? We're heading shrimp. Okay, so this is shrimp. Now then, the sususa. I guess you're in a money here. Oh man, your family planning. This is the Adomi Bridge, located in Ghana, West Africa. It spans the Volta River that drains into the Gulf of Guinea, south of the Akonsobo Dam. It was constructed in 1956, completed in 1957, and opened for use in that same year by Ghana's first president, Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This is our quest to see Ghana, the journey to Jekiti. Let's go. Right from Atimpoku, you saw the busy business happening there, and we're getting straight now into Akonsobo. Akonsobo is a very cool, laid-back, enjoyable location, a town that has etched its name in the history of Ghana as a place where Ghana's power, electrical power, is generated from. So it houses the Akonsobo Dam, it houses the Volta Hotel, the Volta River Authority. It also has the pontoon, or call it the Dodi Princess, that's on the lake. And you could take a cool, cozy ride there. So come with me, let's get into Akonsobo. And that's the main entrance. We're getting straight there. You're gonna enjoy it.
I'm made in Ghana, you can take me to London. I'm made in Ghana.
It's partially misty here in Akonsobo, and that's the Akonsobo Dam right behind us.
I'm made in Ghana, I'm made in Ghana.
But right now, we're heading straight to Jekiti. The team is ready. We're all standing by. That's the lovely, lovely, lovely runabout there. Guess what? Power! Jekiti, here we come. After meandering through the beautifully asphalted roads right by Akonsobo, we meander on to another bumpy, dusty road. We reach the Sapo Junction and take a right turn and head straight on to Jekiti. The school children and farmers trek for longer miles to and from school and from their places of work and their farms as well. It's dusty, real barren dust, biting hard sometimes. But the road to Jekiti is not all dusty. Some portions of the road have seen asphalt before. At least we're told under the regime of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And you can tell parts of the asphalt still remain, while the other parts have been eaten away.
Jekiti sits in the Sojaman district of the eastern region. Her citizens are from Tebrefo. Openyinjan is the founder of the town. He was a farmer who used a combination of urine and salt, also known as ekiti, to skillfully trap game. Jekiti thus means Openyinjan's ekiti.
And it feels like a long walk to freedom. We're finally in the beautiful little republic of Jekiti. And guess what? As custom demands and traditions dictate, we need to go to royalty to be welcomed, to announce our presence properly. And so we came to the palace. This is the palace of Jekiti. Looks like it's under reconstruction. We can't guess. So let's find out. I go off here. I go. Nana Unkwaso. Nana Unkwaso. Yes, sir. And that's Nana Ofram Hene. He is the chief in charge of the beach where we want to take you to show you. But that is the palace of Jekiti. And the Abau Krum, inti yebehwe hakakra. Yebehwe hakakra. Inti yebe konsuo no kakra. Mo wa kyerɛkyerɛ nneɛma so kakra. Edase. Inti wa ye kado a ne ye konsuo na no e. All right.
Yeah, me na man feel too abe am to so me nsa no. Me nananom
ɛna bɛkyekyere jakiti kuro no jakiti no yɛfi bɛgorɔ tɛbrɛfo ɛhɔ na yɛ nananom ɛbɛsoɛe bɛmfa no sɛ 1710 mu hɔ ɛna yɛbɛdua jakiti hɔ na jakiti yɛ kuro bi a akyɛre yie papaapa ɛyɛ tete kuro ɛdin jakiti no ɛyɛ ɔpanin bi a ne yɛfrɛ no ɔpanin gyan na ɔyɛ ɔbɔfoɔ na ofi mountains ɛna ɔbɛyɛ ahayɔ kakra wɔ hɔ na wobɛba jakiti a sɛ wohwɛ a nsuo bi yɛ hɔ a yɛfrɛ no jakiti no ɛno ne kuro no din na nsɛm bebree wɔ akyire nti yɛfrɛ no gyan akitie so tete no sɛ obi kɔyɛ ahayɔ a na sɛ okum nam bebree a ɛhɔ na ɔho na apa nti sɛ wokɔ hɛ sɛ mekɔ ɔpanin gyan akitie so ɛhɔ no na nsuo ho kɔ atwee kakra ɛna ɔpanin no ɛkɔɔ na ɔkɔso mfidie a ɔde yi nkrante nti no nsuo ho kɔ atwee no nkrante no bɛwee hɔ ma nsuo no pie hɔ nsuo no pie no kɔpem nnɛ nsuo no ne yanom a kɔpem nnɛ sɛ jakiti nti ɛno a yɛmpanimfoɔ no ɛde ɔpanin din to gyan akitie so nti ɛhɔ ne jakiti no nti ɔpanin gyan na akitie.
From the Chief's Palace, we head straight to the waterfront, our center of attraction at Jakiti. After about 3 minutes of a bumpy but enjoyable ride from the Chief's Palace, which is currently under reconstruction, we get straight on to the waterfront. Now, the waterfront is the center of attraction in the beautiful town of Jakiti. We arrive at the waterfront and the mild waves are calling out to us. They say water is life. Maybe I'm gonna roll up my trousers and step into the water, find out how chilled it is. It's all part of the beautiful story of Jakiti. Come with me.
Ghana, I'm made in Ghana, I'm made in Ghana, I'm made in Ghana, you can take me to.
And on the Jakiti waterfront, we meet a very hard-working fisher folk, Selwa Wisdom, who agrees to take us on a ride on the water. Now, this is a big risk we are taking, but we take it anyway.
Even though our cameraman is afraid.
No, it's okay. Danny, my cameraman, is afraid,
yeah.
But we'll take the ride anyway. Nana Onkwaso. Nana Unsioi, Emode, Efe. Na tourism bit no etesen.
Me da wase krachi ewie wohwe nsuo ye da ho ya bibi eni ho a ese tourism form ya ko ho several time but it depend aban ba na aban ko enti no obi wa ko ka kire na the way wo ben anza no and also because we face tourism bi ani eye akwamu Jakiti aha bia amafo timi behwe dam no wo hwe dam no wi a no wo ko wan achi school for the buses ba behwe dam no better cause we boy a 17 miles drive and one say we beba beach wa abama framba be didi wa ha adware kakra na fie wo ko back to baby a wo fi but tourism for MYN nyamere no kwa ni
mfia hini a mo ni omu dinkita ho omu fie
beach is started almost 25 years ni but yankasa naja ya hoodin ne ye niam kakra until say middle general mabam aha enti no ye call won ho me kai say honorable Samuel Akra no obey deputy ye call in chen ko bono amane ye invite won but more no say wodan wan ni kire ba bi foforo wo mayen ha but afi de ye ka kire won say won bra Jakiti na honhom bi aba
Jakiti oh Jakiti Jakiti oh Jakiti Jakiti oh Jakiti. That's right, and that's the kind of fan we have here when you come to the little republic of Jakiti. If you didn't know it ever existed, yes, it does exist. It's cool, it's fun. It's cozy. It's for a good retreat and a resort. So why not take advantage when next you're in the eastern region or close by Akosobo, step by Jakiti, enjoy a dip in the water, and hey, have fun, see Ghana. If you didn't know existed, we've shown you now. So make it a point to visit, take internal tourism to a notch higher. Until next time when we see you on another ride, my name is John Hughes. See you later. Bye-bye.
I smile too much. I'm way too hot. I'm too spirited. I'm cool tempered. They say my dance is serious. My girls are hips, you.
I will lead the economic management team to address the nation in a town hall. It's happening at the College of Physicians and Surgeons at Rich. You can't miss it. We're talking about the economy and many other things. Also, we'd like to say a very big congratulations to the folks at Ghana Revenue Authority. The ITAPS project, which is about to be launched on Friday. We know that this will do a good thing if it's managed properly. Happy birthday to Joseph Amoncho, who works with the hairs here at TV3, and to Twins Don't Beg. They are photographers and celebrity bloggers. It's your birthday today. We love you, brothers. Happy birthday. And a special one from Staff Sergeant Abankwan and Mrs. Lydia Abankwan. This is to your lovely child, Michaela Abankwan. He's 1 year old today. You wish long life and prosperity, God's protection and guidance. Happy birthday if it's yours as well. We love you. Let's turn our attention now to one of VGMA's nominees for this year, Mr. Drew. That's what it's called. Chief, yes, how you doing?
I'm good, you?
Mr. Drew.
Yes, boss.
I like how you put things together.
Thank you.
The Santo, the beard, the shades, the jeans top. You should see his trousers, his pants. Sweet, man, as well. You got style, bro.
Thank you. Thank
Charlie,
you.
one more time.
Thank you.
Who is Mr. Drew?
Okay, so I like the way you looked at me like.
Yeah.
So Mr. Drew is a singer, dancer, and signed on to Highly Spiritual Music. I was on Hitsmaker on season 6, and I was the second person, I would say, yeah, we're all winners, so second winner, and then Frida was first, and now I'm signed on to Highly Spiritual Music. So right now I have a new single out, and I'm also signed on, I also have a nomination for VGMA Unsung. Yeah. So.
How's the industry treated you?
It's not been easy, trust me. Especially when I shaved my hair. Yeah, I shaved my hair last year.
Why did you shave your hair?
Because my hairline was receding.
Okay.
I'll just go straight to the point.
Yeah. But the Kitasi defense walk wouldn't come.
Yeah. I just thought about it, and then I felt, okay, if this is a phase that I want people to know for a very long time, why don't I, I don't want to grow up and then I have to change my look again. No.
Start from scratch.
You understand? So you just start from the...
But what did they say about your hair?
People were like, okay, some people tell me when they get me, they'll slap my head. Some too are like, oh, I like it because it's very shiny. Some are like, why did you shave your hair? No. But I just told them to move on. It's cool.
You started off very well. I mean, look at the song. Beautiful.
Thank you.
The video is nice as well.
Thank you.
You started off really, really, really well, I must say. Which is why I'm not surprised you got the nomination.
Yeah.
But actually, how do you feel about the nomination?
It's amazing, trust me. When I saw they made an announcement that they were going to be choosing an unsung.
Right.
Yes. And then I had to go, online quick and then tell people, yo, you have to tag me, because you have to tag. People have to post your pictures and videos, and then you get nominated. That's how you get nominated.
Right.
It means the more
more popular you are,
and then you get nominated.
Okay.
So I had to move to people. I had to enter people's DMs. Yo, post my picture, by force.
Get them to sort you out.
Yeah, because I needed it, and now we're here. So we're grateful to everybody who posted my picture, tagged VGMAs as well. Thank you so much.
Would this be your first shot at anything awards?
I think the previous awards, 3 music. I was in the Next Rated Act.
Okay.
Yes, and then I released my first single last year.
Okay.
So I think it's a good.
It's like one song.
Yeah, one song for 2 nominations. That's good.
That's cool for you.
Yeah, and then we have a second one. So hopefully we bag like double of that.
What genre of music do you do?
Okay, so I do high life and Afro beats.
Okay.
Yes, but so far I've released just 2 high life songs.
Why the 2? Why high life and Afrobeat? Why?
because I feel I connect to that most. Yes, I'm signed to K's highly spiritual label,
Okay.
so he's like he's into more of high life, and then, he'll tell you have to put Ghana out there.
Right.
So you have to at least do some high life, and then you can switch it up.
If you leave Kewa, would you switch from high life and Afrobeat?
I'll still do high life because there are people who want to listen to high life strictly. There are people who want to listen to Afrobeat strictly. So I think I'll still be doing high life.
What's your place in the industry? Where do you see yourself?
Okay, I see Mr. Drew as the Chris Brown, the Usher, the Michael Jackson of Ghana. You understand? So we're doing music and dance at the same. We'll be feeding you a lot of things, stagecraft, all those things.
I see.
Yes.
So you're a good dancer?
Yes. Very.
Okay, Harriet, let's put it to test. Pull back that thing. Let's put it to test.
Wow.
I want to learn a move from you, then we'll come back to the conversation. Okay, Mr. Drew.
For you, what I'm feeling is so true. I go gaga for you. I go fit to sell my soul for you. You know good. What I'm feeling is so true. Said my love is all for you. I no go leave you blind, no go leave you lonely. It be me and you. Tonight I swear no be 2 by 2. And baby I go stand by you. Your love they make I to go crazy. Yeah. I no go fit to choose, baby. I promise I go keep your love and be your king. I no go fit to choose, baby.
Interesting, man. I love you. Yes, not in the other way. I love your music.
Thank you.
But then, so what are the challenges you've had in the industry?
I would say, first of all, people are skeptical when you come as a new artist, and then sometimes they fear that your song is not that good, so they don't want to even play it on air. They don't want to have you on their show.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the challenges, and then the second is the fans.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes they expect your song to go somewhere because they see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but then they don't see the challenges that.
Okay. They envision the song going somewhere.
Exactly.
But they don't know what challenges you are contending with.
So when they don't see it, like when the song doesn't reach a point, like a certain point, and they become dormant, and then they
How
start.
long have you wanted to do this?
A very long time, from childhood.
How long is how long is it?
From childhood, so I would say since I was 5.
Wow.
Yes, because I grew up in the midst of other musicians as well. I grew up with in the midst of Nana King, Tiny. But I'm not sure they remember me now. I look different.
Where was that?
I was in Dansoman by then. Yes.
Okay.
Dansoman.
Dansoman was the hub of it.
Yeah. My like the family house was here, and then the Nana King's house was the next
to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the artists used to come there a lot. Tiny, Obo, all those people.
Okay.
Abiola.
I see.
So
you felt the musical flavor.
Exactly. Yeah, I used
And
to
that
go
was
on
when you
stage with
decided
them.
that,
Yeah. I think that from there, the love for music.
If you hadn't done music, what would you have done?
I think I'd be doing acting because I'm
Acting.
really good at acting.
You're a good actor as
And then
well.
I'm into video editing too.
Are you a womanizer?
No,
You are not a womanizer. Why did it take you so long to answer my question?
No, it's something that people keep asking me.
Why do they keep asking you that?
I don't know whether it's my looks or
Is
I
it
don't
because of something you have done before?
No,
Were you a bad boy in school?
Oh no, not at all.
You were not a
I
bad
never
boy.
went. I
Were
never
you part
went.
of the scripture union?
No.
Then you were a bad boy.
No, I was very good in school.
Okay.
I went to Achimota.
Okay.
Yeah, Motown. So
Yeah.
shout out to all my Accras.
So you were very good in school.
I was
but you
very.
were not
I was
part of scripture union.
No.
So what did you do in school? Debaters club, writers club. Science and maths quiz.
No. I was just a normal student doing my. I like to stay in my lane.
Okay.
So I did visual arts in school.
Did you have a girlfriend in school?
No.
You
Funny
didn't have a
enough, I used to dance in school, but I stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had to concentrate on my books.
Alcohol, smoke?
No, I don't do any of
You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't womanize?
No. I take a lot of sugar. That's what I do.
You take a lot of sugar?
Yeah, like I like stuff that have like sugar in them. It makes me active. I don't know.
I see. What's your favorite food?
Hey. Abum.
You like abum?
Ampesi.
Yeah. Abum.
Yeah.
In the earthenware pot.
Yeah. You have to feel the Kobe.
I give you a chance. That's your crowd out there. Talk to them. You've been nominated in the VGMAs. Let's hear you campaign for votes.
Okay, so what's up, people? It's your boy, Mr. Drew, and I want to tell you all out there to support the movement. I want you to vote. All Vodafone lines is UN3. So capital UN3 to 1767. Vote. Let's win this. You've seen me on stage. You've seen my music as well. You've heard my music. You know we deserve this. Let's work it out.
UN3.
UN3
to the short code.
Yeah. So UN3 to the short code 1767 on Vodafone lines only. But if you want to vote online, with your credit card or mobile money, you can visit www.votesvgma.com and then scroll down to the on-sound category and then vote for Mr. Drew.
Let's talk about social media handles quickly. You want to add that?
Okay, so you can follow me everywhere. It's Mr. Drew Official. Everywhere. MRDREWOFFICIAL. Mr. Drew Official. Together. Everywhere. Link up Moku Vibes. Silly.
I see. Interesting. Collaborations. What are we looking at?
Okay, so okay. Let me put this
slow down,
right here.
Slow down. Yes.
Okay, so
put it on the table.
Yeah.
Give us exclusive.
You know, I just did 2 high life songs. So we're going to speed it up for the next single.
Okay.
And you know what we can do with that.
Okay.
So a dance song is going to feature one of your favorite artists.
Like who?
Somebody who's already
Give
into
us
the
3
dance.
options. 3 options.
I'm looking at medical.
Medical. Okay.
I'm looking at the rest.
No, medical. No, let's do it. Our time is up. So medical.
So medical.
Yeah.
We're looking at Moogies.
Moogies, okay.
And then we're looking at one of the Ground Up Boys. Probably.
Kiddy? Kwame Eugene?
No.
Okay.
Let's look at Kwame MP.
Okay, Kwame MP, medical, Moogies, Kwame MP. Interesting combination there, but that's all time will allow us. That's how the cookie crumbles. I told you earlier. The Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, together with the economic management team, are meeting at the College of Physicians and Surgeons in Accra this morning to tell you what the state of the economy is. You can't miss it. We'll bring you all the live updates here on the media channel platforms, TV3, 3FM, Connect FM, Unia FM, and Akuma FM. Let me say happy birthday, Joseph Amoncho of TV3, Twins Down Bag, our celebrity photographers and bloggers, and Abakwan Sub Sergeant Abakwam and your wife. You say happy birthday to Mikhail Abakwam, and if it's your birthday as well, happy birthday. Know that you can think it and your heart can believe it, only you can achieve it. Let's dance, shall we? Yeah.
Highly spiritual.
It be your kind of thing that we taste your love. Baby, when I fall you.